A lonely boy runs barefoot over jagged limestone, soul split, teeth clenched. Dust hangs in slow motion, thick as blood. His breath soars through the night. Distant drums throb like a second heartbeat. Firelight licks the ridges of old scars across his back, each one a lesson carved in flesh. A whisper cuts through the wind. Most people know the Agoge, but few know what came after. Beyond the barracks, in the hollows of Mount Tigetus, the real forging began. No witnesses, no mercy, only silence, starvation, and the cold edge of a dagger pressed into his palm. Survive, they said, or become carrion. Bronze glints, red bleeds into black. Dawn cracks like bone, bare chests slam into frozen earth. Again, until frost mixes with blood. No breakfast. Hunger is the first teacher. Shields become anvils, boys crawl beneath them. Spines bowed under oak and bronze. A whip cracks, not for disobedience, but to teach the body to forget pain. Hollywood shows glory. Truth is grime, cracked ribs, and silence when a comrade vanishes into the ravine. They wrestle in mud laced with thorns, choke on ash, drink from puddles swirling with leeches. Instructors watch, faces carved from stone. Obedience isn't spoken. It's beaten into sinew, etched into reflex. Cold rivers at midnight, sand in open wounds, 30 days with nothing but a cloak and a knife. This wasn't training. It was erasure of fear, of self, of everything soft. What emerged wasn't a boy. It was a weapon, honed in shadow, baptized in suffering. Sunrise reveals new torment. Boys drag boulders uphill, backs bent, tendons screaming. No shoes, never shoes. Feet bleed into shale, each step packed with agony. They march for hours without water, lips split, eyes glazed, staring through the heat, not at it. Logs crush collarbones. They carry them until arms go numb, until pain becomes breath. Instructors douse them in icy river water at dusk, force them to stand motionless as frost feathers their skin. Breath slows, heart obeys, hunger gnaws, but they eat only silence. At night, they crawl through thorn-choked ravines, on elbows, mud filling their mouths, learning to swallow dirt without flinching. Cliffs rise like judgment. They climb barehanded, fingernails tearing, legs shaking, not to conquer stone, but to prove they fear nothing. Not cold, not hunger, not the void yawning beneath them. This was the unseen curriculum. Not how to fight, but how to endure when every nerve begs for surrender. Torchlight gutters in a stone chamber, slick with sweat and old blood. Boys kneel in a circle, wrists bound, eyes locked ahead. Never down. A lash whips air, then flesh. No cry, only the wet snap of sinew, stretching past breaking. Another strike. Ribs crack like dry kindling. Still silence. A Spartan who screamed failed. A Spartan who bled quietly passed. Instructors pace like wolves, testing resolve with iron rods, with brands, with fists wrapped in salted leather. One youth vomits. Shame floods his throat faster than bile. He's dragged to the center. The others watch, learn, swallow their own tremors. Fingernails dig into palms until crescents fill with blood. Pain isn't punishment here. It's purification. Firelight catches the sheen on clenched jaws, the tremor in thighs fighting to stay still. Outside, wind howls. Inside, only breath, controlled, contained, cold as the blade at their throats. This was the true test, not to endure pain, but to erase the self that feels it. Midnight, no moon, only the rasp of breath through clenched teeth. Boys vanish into the black. No cloaks, no blades, no names. They stalk ravines on hands and knees, bellies slick with dew and filth. Learning to move like ghosts, hunger gnaws deeper than bone. Thirst cracks the mind. One stumbles, a hand clamps his mouth, silent. Not from fear, from training. Shadows shift. A figure rises, another initiate, marked for elimination. No warning, no honor, just a garrote of sinew, a body folded into the earth before the heart stops. They track by scent, by the faintest scuff of stone, by the heat ghosts leave behind. Sleep is sabotage. Dreams are weakness. Instructors hunt them with dogs and fire, herding them into thorn pits, into sinkholes, slick with rot. Days blur, nights bleed, identity dissolves. What crawls out isn't human. It's instinct wrapped in scar tissue. This was not training. This was transformation. Dust chokes the plain. 200 shields crash. Wood splinters, bronze screams. Body lock in a wall of sweat and sinew, heaving as one beast. No room to flinch. No breath to waste. Spears thrust in unison, slow, then faster. Steel punching air where hearts will be. Instructors roar over the din. Push or be crushed. Knees buckle, the line holds. A boy stumbles, immediately swallowed by the press, ribs caving under the weight of his brothers. No pause, no pity. The phalanx breathes, moves, kills as a single will. Shields aren't carried, they will become. Edge to edge, shoulder to shoulder, until fear drowns in the rhythm of the shove. Spear points dip, rise, strike. Not at eyes, but at gaps, throat, groin, the soft seam beneath the arm. Kill zones mapped in muscle memory. Blood slicks the sand. Still they push, still they thrust. The drill ends only when the dead weight of exhaustion makes the line one trembling organism, alive, unified, merciless. This wasn't formation. This was fusion. Embers pulse in a cavernous hall. No roof, only stars watching through smoke. Boys sit cross-legged on cold stone, eyes fixed on the flames. Not dreaming, not blinking, staring through. An elder leans close, voice a rasp of flint on bone. Watch it burn, now watch it die. That is your life. They learn to unclench their souls. To let grief pass like wind through ribs. A comrade's name is spoken, once, then never again. Tears are weakness, grief, betrayal, love, distraction. Fire gutters, shadows, swallow faces whole. A true Spartan did not fear death. He feared dishonor, the elder intones. And in that silence, each boy kills his last soft thought. What remains is hollow, ready, perfect. Camera pulls back from a lone Spartan standing on a cliff at dawn. Silhouette sharp against a bleeding sky. Wind strips the last warmth from his skin. Below, the ravine yawns, littered with bones too small to name. His eyes don't blink, don't waver. They've seen the pits where boys were buried alive with scorpions, where silence was traded for sanity. The Agoge taught obedience. What came after taught annihilation, of doubt, of memory, of the boy who once cried for his mother. They drowned him in ice pits until his pulse vanished, left him in wolf dens with nothing but a rusted blade. forced him to eat the flesh of his fallen rival to prove hunger had no master. Legends weren't born in daylight. They were carved in the dark with salt, iron, and the quiet certainty that death was a guest already seated at the table. Drums begin, a slow, guttural throb. Fade to black.